This might be the perfect chance for you to run up 50 bands before the end of the year, easily. With the insurgence of this whole 2010 outfit, I know you guys have been seeing these. Maybe it's your time to capitalize on that market and have a brand dedicated to style, having something a bit more tailored, something a bit more simple. This is the perfect opportunity in the market. And I'm gonna show you guys exactly how to design a piece for this market. Referencing the vintage Polo Ralph Lauren tees, we're gonna have a spin on it just to play with the brand's identity, which is going to be sicko, 100% using the iPad and with none other than PROCREATE. Anybody can basically get this done. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get logged in. Okay, the first thing we want to do is create a new canvas within PROCREATE. Let's make it 4,000 height. Let's make this 3,000. And then I'm going to go ahead and put the resolution of this 300. We're going to go ahead and design all the logos first before we even start touching the mockup, because it's going to be a lot easier for us to implement the logos into the mockup later. First thing I'm going to want to do is insert, and I'm going to go ahead and insert a photo, a guy on a horse, and I'm going to go ahead and trace this image, making sure to scale it to the largest possible option first before I start tracing it. Next, I'm going to go ahead and drop down the opacity. Just press N. It's going to pull up your layer options, and I'm going to press plus within that to add a new layer on top. Going ahead into brushes, and I'm going to go ahead and use a studio pen. Click the studio pen, it'll come over all the settings regarding the brush. Make sure the stabilization is at 37%. Press OK. So I might even bring this down to like a 3, honestly. Again, depending on how much detail you actually want within your trace, you can up or make this smaller. The thing is, I've already tried it with like a thicker brush and it came out with pretty good results, but the one thing I wanted was, I wish I had more detail in here. Because usually when you see Polo Ralph Lauren and their patches regarding their chest and stuff like that, they often have multiple details within their embroidery, where they would have 2 different layers. So it'd be like a flat plate layer and a layer on top to show, you know, like line work and stuff like that, just to have a more luxurious feel. Now, just a quick tip, if you're drawing a line and you hold on your screen, it will make the line either more straight, or if it detects an object / shape, it will turn it into that shape. So next we're gonna go ahead and fill it in. So dragging out with your pencil or even your finger, just grab that fill in the top right corner and put it within your confined space, fill it in. Next, I wanna add a weapon to this guy's hand. Obviously, I'm going for a play on that classic polo look. And I think that's gonna work really well with the design language, especially with the brand name that I'm gonna go follow in, which is going to be sicko. I inserted an image. Now I'm gonna go ahead and just do some work to this, just because I don't wanna trace this AK-47. I want it to be perfect. So I'm gonna go ahead and press the adjustments, and in the adjustments, I'm gonna go hue/saturation, and I'm gonna go ahead and drop down saturation to 0. Once that's done, I'm gonna go ahead and go back into my curves. And in the curves and the gamma, I'm just gonna go ahead and grab this point and just drag it all the way across. Perfect, until we're here. And then from here, I'm gonna go ahead and go back into hue/saturation, and then just drag up this brightness, just so we can get rid of all the little bits. So next, I'm gonna go ahead and just grab the selection tool. I'm gonna go ahead and select the weapon, and I'm just gonna drag with my pencil just to select any little bits. Press a new layer on top. I'm gonna go ahead and fill that layer in with black. And then I'm gonna go ahead and deselect. And I can go ahead and delete that layer now because we no longer need it. I'm gonna grab our weapon. I'm just gonna make it smaller and make it scale towards his hand. There we go. From here, I'm going to just go ahead and merge down. Next, I'm going to go ahead and add in a new layer, and I'm going to go ahead and insert photo of a crest. The reason why I don't freehand this crest shape, because I often find is when I'm freehanding in PROCREATE, even when I have my stabilization all the way up, my lines are never 100% correct or proportionate. Next, I'm going to go ahead and go into our spanner / actions, and I'm going to go ahead and go into our canvas. In our canvas setting, we can go ahead and press the drawing guide and turn that on. Edit the drawing guide and go to symmetry, find the center line, press OK, add a new layer, press the layer, and make sure you have drawing assist on. And then from here, your symmetry should be on. Perfect. Let's up the size of this. And this time in the studio pen, we're gonna go ahead and bring up the stabilization all the way up to around 85%. Next, I'm gonna go ahead and just draw my line and just hold it. cleans up, which is perfect, exactly what we need. And then I'm gonna go ahead and do the exact same thing for this line here. Let's go ahead and do the same here. Next, I'm just gonna go ahead and turn this off and turn this one off as well. So this is looking a bit plain and we're here. So let's go ahead and add a new layer on top and turn up the drawing, turn on the drawing assist. And then I'm gonna go ahead, add a banner at the bottom here, add one here. So this is very easy to do. All you have to do is draw a rectangle on an angle and just draw these two little strings on the edges that represent a banner, and you're basically done. No explanation here because you're using the symmetry tool. It makes it extremely easy to do. I got a bit carried away and I made a flag and also a center banner sort of. Just looking at references of what I see with these Polo Ralph Lauren jerseys or polos, whatever you want to call them, regarding the banners and the actual chest emblems, they usually have a lot going on and I wanted to implicate that within my design. Obviously you can go with something more simple, but honestly, just looking at references, you can even trace references. Just understanding what you want in your design is going to be good. I usually just trace the center emblem again because I know my freehand drawing isn't always good in regards to proportions. Next, I'm going to go ahead and just turn off my drawing assist because it's no longer needed. And then from here, I'm going to go ahead and go on my eraser and I'm going to remove any of this in here. Make sure my drawing assist is turned off for both. And I'm going to go ahead and right click. Not right click. I'm going to go ahead and click my layer and I'm going to go ahead and press merge down. Next, I'm going to go ahead and duplicate this and I'm going to keep this as my clean layer in case I need to go back. Now, if you go to your spanner, you can press add text, but from here, I'm just going to go ahead and add in our brand name, which is going to be Sicko. I'm also going to isolate this S and use it to make the emblem for the logo later. So I'm going to go ahead and click this S. I'm going to go ahead and rasterize it. I'm going to go ahead and make a duplicate of it. Something around there. Because I'm trying to make like a crest emblem logo of some sort. I'm going to go ahead and press merge down. And if you've watched my videos before, you know exactly what I'm going to do next. So I'm going to go ahead and duplicate this layer in case I want to go back. Turn that one off. And then I'm going to go ahead and go into our adjustments. And I'm going to go ahead and add a Gaussian blur to this. Just a slight Gaussian blur around here, which is perfect. Once that's done, I'm going to go ahead and press select. Select my actual shape and then just drag it out a bit. Perfect. Add a new layer and fill that in. Perfect. Now, if we turn this layer off, we have a grunge sort of logo of that S, and it makes it look a bit more complete. There we go. So in this section, I'm going to go ahead and drop down the kerning so our font can be like basically touching each other. It's going to make our life a lot easier. And then press done. And I'm going to go ahead and press duplicate in case I make a big mistake. Rasterize it. Then I'm going to go ahead and press this one and press Gaussian blur. Blur it just a bit. And then I'm going to go ahead and press selection. Automatic select. Perfect. Add a new layer and fill in with black. Delete, delete. Actually, I'll keep that first Sicko in case I want to go back. Lovely. I'm going to go ahead and add these on top because they resonate with the brand Sicko. Duplicate this one. Turn this one off. I'm going to go ahead and duplicate that and then flip. Keeping that sense of symmetry. And next I'm going to go ahead and just combine down. Pop this in here. So now we have our logo here for the main crest. And then we're going to start playing with color. Now the go-to color with all these, especially with the crest, is usually like a goldish yellow. So best thing I'm going to do is I'm going to duplicate this. I'm going to turn this one off and I'm going to go ahead and flatten this layer here. And that's going to be our whole logo flattened. Next, I'm just going to grab a nice yellow color and I'm going to fill in all these little lines. There we go. And then for the center, I might make this one blue. For the yellow, I might make it red, the outside. We're going for those royal colors, as that's what they usually do. I might make a fake flag real quick. So I'm just gonna go ahead and grab selection, and I can grab a rectangle. Add a new layer. The thing is, I want this star flag just big. Just looking for a star PNG. Future Wilson here. I didn't know you could completely just copy something from Safari and paste it within Procreate, as you see that I'm doing here. And it works because I didn't want to go through the hassle of redrawing this star. So I was just going to say, oh, let me just make it with this. Because usually when I'm making a star in Illustrator, I can just use the shape of a star because they have it. Let's duplicate this rectangle. I want an offset sort of look, so I duplicated it and I'm making it a bit smaller, and then I'm going to fill the outside with a different color. Add a new layer. Stabilization amount. There we go. I'm just going to go ahead and merge down everything. Now that we're here, let's go ahead and assemble our actual mock-up and get everything looking good. Add a new layer, go into the brushes, and I'm going to go ahead and look for our t-shirts. So in here, I'm going to go ahead and go into our shirts, button-up / dress shirts, short sleeve polo, back and front. I usually like to, for an artboard this size, I usually like to size it at 55%. And what you don't want to do is you don't want to make it small brush and then scale it up, or else it's going to be very bad in quality. So set your scale first and then press in the middle of the artboard, and then that way you have extremely crisp line ready mock up. And let's go ahead and add a new layer. Let's go 56 as well. And we can go ahead and turn off our logos, as we're not going to need them now. And this one's going to be front, rename, back. I'm going to do the classic one where it's like the color blocking inside for sweat, I guess. I think that's why they do it. I'm going to go ahead and click the little action / spanner. I'm going to go into canvas. I'm going to turn on the drawing guide, and then I'm going to go ahead and edit the drawing guide and make sure it's centered with the shirt. And then I can turn the back on and make sure the back is centered as well. And on the front one, I'm going to go ahead and go in with Studio Pen. And for stabilization, want to make sure it's maxed. Drop down the sizing. I think 3% matches it. Yeah, lovely. I'm going to drop down the opacity of the back. So just pressing that N and dropping down the opacity, just so I can see what I'm doing and see if it aligns with the back as well. So from here, I'm just going to start customizing it and drawing in those lines for the side panels. And as you can see here, if you hold down on your pencil, it'll go ahead and make it straight for you. There we go. But on the right, I noticed that my center aligned isn't 100% perfect, and I adjust that later. I'm going to do the same for the back, so turn it off. Turn down the opacity, turn up the opacity. And now we can go ahead and turn off the drawing assist for each page because we no longer need it. And we can turn off the drawing guide. And I'm going to go ahead and duplicate the front. Perfect. And the bottom one, I'm going to rename it as the color, CR. I'm going to duplicate the back as well. Rename the bottom one as CR. And you basically add color fill only to the bottom one. Let's go with a classic black. So I wanted to make it like a lightish, a dark, very darkish gray, where you can still see the line work. It might be too dark actually. There we go, perfect. For the inside, I might make it like a maroon. Let's go ahead and duplicate the sicko. Let's bring it to the front, in between the front and the color layer of the front. Let's turn it on. There we go. Let's go ahead and color this. I'm gonna go ahead and duplicate the mascot. Let's go ahead and color it. Trying to figure out the placement, looking at reference photos, it's usually, the placement is like right here, but the crest placement is a bit higher. So around here. Let's go ahead and add some text. It's gonna be a number. Let's go 3. And then I'm gonna add some text again. The reason why I don't have the text as pre-made designs is I'm not going to rasterize them, so they can be scaled infinitely. And that way, if I do need to send out the design as a text, I can just scale it up. I can just scale up from the mockup and just send it out that way. Let's go ahead and add text. I'm gonna add the slogan, born from pain. Let's go for our fonts. Cool. Gonna add it on top here. Let's go change that color. There we go. I'm gonna combine down for everything. Ooh. Perfect. Firstly, let's go ahead and color this in. Perfect. I'm gonna duplicate the flag, drag it here, turn it on. I'm gonna add it here. For the back, it's usually like a number of some sort, but I feel like I might add the double S that we designed earlier. This one right here. Change it to white. Now this is a good basis, but you can switch the colors to anything that you want. There we go. Design's finished. Now the thing I love about these polos is there's infinite combinations on sleeves, patterns, different colors that you want to choose, different logos that you want to place, different areas. This is the most like basic way of going about it, but I want to show you guys a full process on how to do it. It took a little over about an hour and 20 minutes, start to finish. Let me know what you guys thought of the video and any comments regarding the design. Overall, if I were to rate it a solid 8 out of 10. Improvements, maybe different color blocking. I'll see you guys when I see you. I love you. Peace.